Welcome to the Mind of Business Success podcast. I'm your host, Alicia Kramer. We're going to get a little bit weird, but it's my understanding that the definition of weird is really quite awesome. So, welcome to the show, Pavel. Let's help people expand their mind and bring more well-being into all areas of their life and business. Welcome to the show. Why don't you start by telling us a little bit about your business?
Thank you so much, and super happy to be here. My current business is a fully integrated passion, purpose, and what I call legacy. And it has escalated about 7 years ago when I spent 10 days in darkness with no food in the middle of Thailand. And for the first time in my life, I had this opportunity to ask myself, what do I want? Who I want to be? And I went in there with running almost 100 Orange Theory fitness locations all over the country, busy entrepreneur, burned out, unhappy, and basically walked out of there with this vision of creating the Noah Aeon. And Noah means movement. Aeon is all or none, and it symbolizes duality that I lived in for so long, highs and lows and good days and bad days and good sales and bad sales. And I was like, there must be another way to this. And there is another way, and it's to go into the center, into the middle, which is happiness, health, and harmony. And so what we do, we take people on transformative journeys from digital courses, immersive experiences, as well as retreats, workshops, and in-person stuff. And finally, we also have a wide range of products that can accelerate all that we're talking about when it comes to journey through self-transformation.
A lot of people use the word transformation, and everybody has a different association with what that actually means. When you start to get a little bit more spiritual, a little bit more metaphysical, it really embodies a deeper meaning than just simply making some changes to your life. And as human beings, we're always doing and we're always creating and we're always setting goals and going for things. Some people don't call them goals. Some people just call it getting by. Sometimes the goal is to just survive. As business owners, a lot of people are living in a similar mindset. It's just getting by. It's just surviving. It's every day sort of feeling that nagging feeling, that sense that there's got to be more. It should be better than this. It should feel better. I got into this because I wanted to thrive, and here I am just barely surviving. What are you helping your clients and customers achieve? What does transformation actually mean from your perspective?
Yeah, so it's a very interesting question because to transform something, for me, it's to take the hands of your life into your own hands and basically start taking the full responsibility for every aspect of your life. And what that means is, we live our lives in the passenger seat, and transformation means you take it into the driver's seat and you acknowledge, where have you come from, where are you going, and what things are not working. And for me, I created this simple 4 steps of this transformation so everybody can apply these to anything in their life. And it starts with the wake up phase. This is the awakening where something in your life is not working. Now, whatever it's your physical health, mental health, your relationships, your business, it could be really any aspect. And the wake up phase is assessment. This is that time where, I literally do something so simple, write down the different aspects of myself and of the life and of the things that I care for. And I judge it from 0 to 10, 10 being awesome, 0, not so awesome. And essentially just divide it by the number that I put down and get a running average. And so that gives me a nice little solid intuitive data, where am I? If you want to take this data to another level, you would take a blood test, or you would do, let's say EEG training, or there's many other ways to get, assessment. The second phase is cleaning up, which is letting go of the old. And, I used to be master at keeping my old hat on as well as bringing the new hat on. And I was in this duality. I was in this conflict of personalities, of the highs and lows. And so I had to, detox. I quit drinking alcohol. I let go of any toxins, toxic relationships, toxic mind. So I can actually create room to power up. Power up is the third phase of this. And this is when you are in the driver's seat. This is when you're moving forward. It's that embodiment of bringing new friendships, bringing new education, bringing new supplements, whatever you have found in the wake up phase that was at fault. This is when you go into offense. And then the fourth phase, the rest up, is basically process of unhooking. And this one is actually the most important, and especially for entrepreneurs or business owners, we don't take enough time for ourselves to re-identify who we want to be or where are we going. And basically, for me, it's every day starts with 1 to 2 hours before I touch the phone, before I do anything. I just spend time with myself, and it's my morning ritual. Whatever it's meditation, yoga, breath work, exercise, or just going into nature. And in this 1 hour, I don't look at cell phone. I literally, this is, me time to kind of visualize what I want the day to be like. Then once a week, I take full day off from the digital world, as well as detoxing from the food. I mean, it's my day to completely unhook and reevaluate, again. And then once a month, it's 3 to 4 days. And the reason why it takes about 3 days to fully unhook from the busy monkey brain, as well as this world we live in. And once a year, I spend 10 to 15 days off. And that's my like yearly realignment. And every time I do this, all of a sudden I have new thoughts, new ideas, and the things that I've been, maybe lacking, like following my passions and purpose, I can find time for it. And it no longer is this victimhood mindset of being slave to my business, or being, it's so many different ways what we say. So this is a long story short to transformation.
There are quite a few different things that you guys offer, and they all center around these concepts that you just shared. Just really, it's about becoming healthy, like truly healthy, not just, you mentioned you had all of those orange theory, orange fitness. So you're, healthy. We think fitness, we think vitamins and eating, good food. But we also recognize that healthy is all of that inner balancing work that we have to do. I want to talk a little bit about that, because there probably are people who, while you were talking about, kind of like the detoxing processes and the disconnecting and just hitting the reset button, they're thinking, I really need that. That is exactly what I need. I want to talk about health from that perspective, that bigger, broader perspective, because most of us have sort of disconnected in some way, shape, or form, whether we're overworking or we are miserable and just sort of pushing ourselves through the motions. What is health, and how can people begin to reclaim real health, not just, physical strength, not just taking your multivitamin? Where do people start?
Yeah, again, great question. And it's a complex, system, but yet extremely simple. And so for me, the way I've discovered health, and by the way, it all started with bad health for me. I had a chronic fatigue, Epstein-Barr. I was sick every 2 weeks while I was a professional athlete back about 12, 13 years ago. And it ended my cycling career because my health just completely, went to hell because I was too busy running a business on the same time I was, cycling around the world. And in this period, I've discovered biohacking, I've discovered Wim Hof, I've discovered all of these super health conscious, terms or trends that are popping up, today. But to make the pathway simple, so when I look at my life and the aspects of the life, I kind of categorize it into micro cycles and macro cycles. And what I mean by that, the micro would be me, my individual self, or yourself, which is made up of your physical body, mental body, emotional body, and spiritual body. Now, when it comes to the physical, that journey through self-transformation started with me to heal the body. And so it starts with testing, doing a sequence of tests, whatever it's food sensitivity, whatever it's, traditional blood work, but also metabolic testing. So you can actually know, where are you? Because until then, you were running kind of blind. Now, then after I knew what was the personalized health data like, then I introduced supplements, proper sleep, nutrition, intermittent fasting. So all of the things that we know that really help well for the body, and people can learn this, through the term biohacking. There's so much out there. Now, then it was the mind and the mental body. I view that as a software, and the physical body is like the hardware. And when your computer connects to the internet, you can download new software or new information and new apps. But without the internet connection, you're left with what you've got. And that's kind of like our monkey brain, right? So we have a mind that learn things from the past and project things into the future. And sometimes our mind can get very obsessive, the monkey brain part that just won't stop. And what I'm talking about is the judgment, the self-doubt, the deceit, the not being able to. And if you have a mind like this constantly, then that's a toxic mind that needs to be reprogrammed. So I spent a couple of years reprogramming. Every time I thought about myself, something other than what is of my highest good, I would write it down on a piece of paper, scratch it, and rewrite it until I start thinking, positive thoughts. And when you go into the process of unhooking, you take time for yourself. This is when you connect to the inner net. So just like the computer is internet, we gotta slow it down to be able to download and reevaluate the same way for the mind. Then it was the emotions. And, emotions is what makes our life feel real. And whatever we like it or not, if we are constantly, afraid and guilty and jealous and all of that, that's again toxicity that we're choosing to experience because we're not looking into these potential opportunities to learn through whatever the situations are, arising. So I had to go back into my traumas, and I had to go back and forgive people and be forgiven. And I actually did this through the 40 years of Zen. From It's the one of the most advanced brain training, and it's so ironic. You go in there and you think that it's this super advanced thing, and 5 days in a row with the help of neurofeedback, you're literally going back in time and reimagining situations that you were hurt or you hurt somebody. And that makes a massive impact on our psyche, on our brain. So taking charge of the emotions and opening them up. And then there's spirit or the spiritual aspect of us. And I call this, whatever we call it, a higher aspect or higher self or smaller self, which would be the egoic mind. This part of us is the senses that we can explain a lot of times. And so on my journey, I spent 15 years traveling the world and meeting some of the most profound leaders and teachers and trainers because of the quest of what is true love, what is happiness, what is balance. And I spent months with the psychics in Brazil, and they taught me that we've got 5 physical senses, and then we've got 4 spiritual senses. And these spiritual senses are our inner hearing, which everybody has. It's the whispers that are telling you and nudging you, you know, stop watching TV at night, or start working out, and don't, drink so much. And the problem is we don't follow these senses. And I came in there as a skeptic, and also as somebody that just wanted to be helped and understood. But at the same time, I didn't really had an embodied feeling until after. And when that voice started getting louder and louder, it started making sense. Wow, like that thing actually communicates with us. And how we strengthen this voice, we acknowledge it. So thank you, I heard that. What you gonna do about that? And basically, when you start following what this voice has for you, you start literally magnifying your intuition, your this sixth sense that a lot of people call it. So it's inner hearing, then it's inner seeing, which is your intuition through visions, especially visionaries. If you've ever started a business that's far out there in 6-12 months from now, that everybody ridicules you for, that you're crazy, that you even think that will be possible, that is coming from somewhere else. It is not coming from the limited monkey brain. The limited monkey brain only verifies it, the gut. And so that could also be lucid dreaming. Then it's the inner feeling, which is the sense when you go into a room, maybe there was a fight and something doesn't feel right, or you had a bad feeling about your business decision. So it's the sense, or some people call it empaths of the world. And same thing. Thank you. I felt that. What you gonna do about that? So you can learn how to actually read these senses, these messages. And the final one is your knowing, inner knowing. And that's when you think you don't know. When you know, you don't have to think. And so it's that I knew I shouldn't have gone to the party. I knew that that person was cheating on me. It's anytime you've ever had this deep knowing, you didn't doubt it. And that's the fourth sense that speaks to this higher aspect of us. And any game changer in the world, when they got an idea in a shower, or groundbreaking, I don't know, the light or the electricity, right? It like spontaneously came. And so no matter what we call this, there is a way to access it. There is a way to physically build relationship with it. And I'm the example of it. I now live by these senses, and my life has transformed. And so that's the me, individual consciousness. And then the collective consciousness, is the second part that we got to look into in life. That I broke down into relationships and environment. And so, what are those top relationships that are either moving you forward or taking you backwards? So, I basically had to become a coach of my own team around me. And my goal was that, I don't have anybody in that sphere that is damning me, that is, not of my highest support. And what happens? Everybody reflects the best of you rather than the worst of each other. So that was a huge piece. And then the environment, that is the air that we're breathing, the water that we're drinking, the paint that the toxicity that we're simply being exposed to in today's world. And so I built an entire conscious house that has, special water filters. We've got probiotic air filters. Um, Literally, we've got completely EMF free zone in our house. So all of the things that from the outside in are affecting us, we transform. And so that's this model.
For someone who's listening who wants to go on this journey, they want to clean up inside and out. They want to disconnect from the old and embrace these abilities that are natural abilities within them. How can our listeners connect with you?
Yeah, so our website is noaaon.com, noaaon.com, and then Noah Aon Official for social media. And basically, you'll be able to see, on-demand library, which we will send a link for free so you can access it and test some of these tools that we're teaching. And then we've got courses, digital courses that people can get on a transformation, as well as retreats, workshops, and immersive experiences all throughout the world. We travel 100 to 150 cities already, and it's been literally one of the most magnifying part of this movement.
I love it. It has been a fun conversation. I know we really didn't go as deep as we could have, but I have a feeling you gave enough to the people who are ready to take that next step. So I really want to thank you, Pavel, for being with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
And thank you to all of our listeners. You know we're doing this for you. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do so. And until next time, we will see you in the next episode.